right, so we're back with the We Got Issues Hoodlum podcast. And listen, you guys like, subscribe, and
hit the like button
and follow us. Don't make it fun. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that button on the right there that says you liked it, like the podcast. You know, make us happy. You know what I'm saying? Catch you right back.
Run that sh**.
Run that sh**.
Run that.
We are on the podcast with the big dog, Queen Vic, JC. We're live and remote from Vegas, and we had some great people in the house today. We got NBA legend, 4-time champion, John Sally in the house. So let's talk about John Sally in the house. He claims to be the fifth brother because there's 4 Forster boys. Yep. JC already took that slot though because JC been moving in the house and stuff like that.
I'm known in Hebrew here.
But there you go. But Sally's in the house today, and we're just really happy because this is like our kickoff to our to the show, and we had our friend Rich. We got our friend Rich T. Jones. We got John Sally in the house. It's a great way to kick everything off. So,
just like Fox, you start off with the black first. You start off with a Living Color, Arsenio Hall, and Martin Lawrence. Then you get popular. Then you're gonna switch up. I know how it works.
That's what us Jews do.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel personally attacked.
But we've been friends for going on. John was just telling me 21 years.
21 years. Yeah.
This has been great.
Wow, really?
Yep. 1999.
Yeah.
Is when I found out that I was part of the family.
That's right.
We checked circumcisions. Mine was prettier. They had to do more work.
I gotta do more. I got clipped twice.
They took too much.
I got clipped twice.
Yeah, they had to add. So I just.
That's crazy.
My moil is much better. But anyway.
Hey.
This is the dude I gotta deal with. This is actually the other brother. Yes.
Right.
But we're just happy to have you here, man.
Thank you.
It's we're really excited about the show. A lot of good stuff I want to talk about. Besides being a fantastic, amazing basketball player, world champion, you've done some pretty incredible things in your life. And one of the things that I wanted to kick off on is some of the new businesses that you have, especially the fact that you are an NBA All-Star player that is now a vegan.
Well, I
break it down.
In 1991, I had high cholesterol. I was 27, and my cholesterol was that of the older players. It was up in the 200s and something.
Really?
And they told me they were going to have to give me a pill. I'm not going to say the name of the pill, Lipitor. And
no respect.
And one of the side effects, the major one, was impotence. At 27.
Check, please.
Right. So I said, the doctor Dr. Paluch, who wound up passing, bad boy doctor, he goes, I don't know, Sal. I go, well, there has to be another way. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I don't know, Sal. I said, dog, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And I found this lady named Dr. Jewel Pukram, and she says, you're full of sugar honey iced tea.
That's a sweet way of saying
Too much sugar honey iced tea.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing iced tea lemonades all day long.
Sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar.
I'm full of it. And so I literally got my first colonic.
Colonic, yeah.
And I started eating
was he a
macrobiotics.
big guy or a small guy?
She's like 4'11".
I thought you said you had a colonic.
But I literally I went down to 220.
Wow.
And my cousin said I looked like a black match running up and down court. But I was looking in the rim.
What's your normal weight?
My weight was 230, 235. Yeah. And I'd lost all of these toxins. The pimples went away.
Colonic?
Just from the colonic.
What?
Yeah, and this is the deal. The colonic is not really cleaning mess out of you. It's hydrating you. You're 100% hydrated.
Yeah.
Because your hydration is here.
Right.
And then it killed the parasites that was asking for the sugar honey and the iced tea.
Really?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Which I changed it from saying sugar honey iced tea to some horrible intestinal toxins. Mm. So I got into it that time when I was 27. I'm now 57, and I'm the same weight I was when I was 27.
Okay,
and
so
I
there's
and I'm
something to it.
and I have a libido, and I don't have to worry about ED.
You know, I was concerned about it because being a heart patient and also, as you know, I had multiple.
You used to be a heart patient.
Was a heart patient. Queen Vic's always changed.
So they had to give you a heart finally.
They finally gave me a heart, so the Scarecrow got a heart. But I was, when they open you up, you know, sometimes you can have some sugar shock or whatever they call it, but your diabetes could flare up, which I didn't really know I was a diabetic, but my sugar levels were high. So I've been on a lot of meds, and I was concerned about, you know, your problems that you were having with the erectile dysfunction.
I wasn't having those problems.
And it was weird because when a black man who's so powerful in the NBA suffers from erectile dysfunction, it's very difficult, I'm sure, with all the groupies that are all around all the time. But for me, a white Jewish boy who is very, 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 very firm and stern,
Oh my God.
you know, it's a different kind of conversation you're having. Knowing the fact that you're a vegan, understanding the vegan, and I'm hoping that you could,
I can explain.
Explain.
how
strongest-
the testosterone levels from a white Jewish
That should
kid
be a segment.
from Westlake and a superstar athlete that is not able to fulfill.
Not use your elbow as a reference. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. JC 6'7", you don't want you chiming in on the ED situation?
let the man talk.
I want to talk before you go left as you go regarding climate. I like climates myself.
Really?
Did you when you talk about the toxin, which is true, I remember my first colonic, I started sweating and started getting nauseous.
That was your liver.
Yeah.
Your liver was emptier.
All that stuff coming out, it was incredible.
Yeah, so if you get like, Richard and I go to the same colon therapist, and if you get, while in the middle of the colonic, they cut it off and then they do a coffee enema, which is in the same thing. Now that
amazing
makes
about that.
your liver say, okay, time to release. Gallbladder, time to release. Now, Dr. Sabi, Dick Gregory, all these other guys, they don't, man, putting no tube up my butt, and they're all dead now. But
Yeah, okay, well,
I'm not saying that's what killed them.
thanks for coming. That's the end of our show.
Right, but if you have to realize that with technology, you should use it to the benefit. And
Does your doctor tickle with the finger first before they?
this is the craziest thing, because I understand it. I only let Deanie insert the piece inside. For 20 years, I would do it myself, then call the doctor in.
Oh, you put the thing in there?
Yeah, because I have to
most
sit and
people
think.
do.
I have to sit and
Yeah.
think. Because also, a lot of people don't realize that those the same muscle or the same veins that bust with hemorrhoids are the muscles that's right there. And I
The
don't
sphincter
want
muscle? Is it the sphincter muscle? Is that
which you can lose, which you would be able to lose if you keep taking those shots. You take insulin shots or pills?
No, I do. So I take once Ozempic. I take the one shot a week, and then I also went on testosterone because my testosterone levels went down to 225.
Yeah.
So now I take
ashwagandha.
I take that.
I
So
would
good.
give you that. I would give you. I know. I would give you yohimbe. I would give you red clover, comfrey, and fruit fenugreek, and I would literally change your water. Like I would give you
you doing all
spring
alkaline water?
No, I'm alkaline as possible.
You are?
But I eat a bunch of vegetables, a bunch of fruit.
If you don't, you'll have too high of acidity in your body, and then you will need alkaline water.
I'm
why
constantly
Queen Vic-
cleaning myself.
Queen Vic is not a real professional trainer, but she's been training with professional trainers her whole life, and she's just works out a lot. But
Would you do what's necessary not to take pills or not to get a shot?
Absolutely.
I think everybody
However, I got to tell you,
You're there, right?
here's I would do it because I want to do it, but I'm taking the testosterone because my testosterone levels are now back to 800, and it's very difficult because all the girls are coming to the house now because they know my testosterone levels are through the roof, which is a problem for me.
Right.
So what I've been trying to understand is what I got to do to get off the meds. But my friend who you met, Juju, he decided that he was going to go all vegan, not do any meds, not listening to the doctors. And a couple weeks ago, they had to cut his foot off. So, I mean, I don't know about going off all the meds because my doctors have me, my numbers right now are, my A1C1 is under 6, which is not even diabetic, I don't think.
You're pre-diabetic. You don't even have diabetes.
Well,
Stop claiming things like that.
I'm claiming it because I'm on all the meds to help combat. Because my doctor says you got to take all these meds.
Can I interject?
Absolutely. That's why you're here. Not because you're the 5th brother, but because you're the brother.
When did you meet your doctor? Why do you believe everything he says?
I met my doctor 5 years ago.
You know they practice medicine. I do it.
Absolutely.
Wait, can we have a moment of silence?
Hold on. Let it be broke. Let it be broke. Break
No,
it
because the
down.
only reason I say that
Break it
is
down.
they're trained to give you medicine.
Right.
That's
Right?
what they study. That's what they focus on.
So if you got a headache, here's a pill. If you're talking to a surgeon and you got a lump in your arm, let me cut it open.
Yeah.
Right? They don't realize that just imagine, there's an ocean, which we consider to be the air. If there was a fish in the ocean and something was wrong and another fish came and cut it open and then took out whatever and then closed it back, that you just destroyed your submarine. You can't do that. So having them cut upon you when you don't want them to,
Right.
or they go into a situation, you got to figure out how to heal it from your mouth, from the orifices of your body, not from your ears. It's sometimes from your nose, but out it goes. So through your throat, from your throat to your anus,
Right.
is a very crooked path.
Right.
So the mentality is to fix it that way since it happened. You get more of your insulin from your pancreas
Right.
than you will from anything else. So if we work on your pancreas and we work on cleaning the cells there, your diabetes would change, or your thought, your pre-diabetic
Sure.
ways. Also, we have to change what you drink. If we stop putting, it's not even sugar, it's not even carbohydrates, just your body has to have more enzymes and more things to help fight and break down the foods for your benefit. If you're eating foods that are poison and are toxic, your body is going to be poison and toxic. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying and the difference on eating meat, the meat they used to eat before was different, mm-hmm. and it was very, very little.
Yeah, of course, by the size of your hand, right?
Right, and you eat fish, which is mercury.
Yeah.
So once you have, your body is now fighting a lot
of pollutants.
Lead,
to get those heavy metals out of your body.
Right.
If like I said, if you're willing to do something different to change, and the reason your friend got his foot cut off is no circulation, no understanding why it's circulation, no deep massage, leg massage, no understanding what it is. They cut my mom's passed last year, 96 years old. And when I offered her to come to LA, she was like, "Oh, Johnny, oh my God, how long you want me to live?" Like literally, she was like, "Well, all my friends are dead." I was like, "All right, if you're ready to die, let me know so I can pay for it now." Because I'm only giving you a $7,000. No. But she literally picked her time. And when you do lose a limb, it's hard to get the flow. It's hard to get the flow. So I'm gonna make sure that I put you on. I put Richard on.
Regimen.
Well, not even a regimen. That's the deal. You don't need to be rigid. You don't need to be any kind of way. You need to literally eat to live.
Yeah. Well, I want to do better. I know that. I
say it again. I didn't hear you.
I want to do better.
So, just like you said you were diabetic, 73 trillion cells heard you say that.
Yeah.
Stop telling your cells all of that stuff. Just tell it all positive.
See, Vic's always correcting me, and so does JC, because JC eats pretty healthy.
Well, Jesus Christ always corrects.
JC is the best.
That's right.
John Chris.
Praise the Lord.
He doesn't correct. He just shows you how to do it right.
Right.
So,
And Jesus believes in you believing. So Jesus walking down the guy said, Lord, help me. I want you to walk. He said, do you believe I can hear you? He said, I am. He said, get up and walk. It had nothing to do with Jesus. It had everything to do with the belief.
Yeah, the vibrational output that you have. You can say the words too all day, but if you don't really believe the words, then you need to go back and ease your way up until you do believe it. Otherwise, it's all just kind of bullshit.
Nice.
Right.
Look at Jay. Look at the Queen dropping some stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Wow. So, anyway, back to erectile dysfunction. Huh?
How long you been a vegan now?
I've been eating plant-based, honestly, since 2007. I was a lying vegetarian from 91 until then. That means I ate. Yeah, you eat.
You sneak.
You eat fish. You eat lobster.
But if on Sunday someone's having
you
like
have soy milk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You eat eggs. My cholesterol, I was eating like 6 eggs a day.
Really?
Yeah, because I believe you got to have a strong breakfast.
Like Rocky.
Yeah, I believed it.
Of course.
And
We all did.
Those
We're growing
beliefs
up.
don't serve you all the
As an
time.
athlete, you came up with a 300-pound vegan.
yeah, I met with young fella. Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, and it's just like, because a lot of people have a misconception on, I need more protein, I can't put on weight, and those kind of things. But
Yeah.
I saw a couple of athletes, even NFL athletes at that, are vegan.
Yeah, I was talking. Yeah, I was talking to this 800-pound gorilla the other day, and I go, "You don't eat any vegetables?" I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a new movie coming out
I said that.
called "They're Killing Us."
Ooh.
It was called, when we first taped it, "They Killing Us," and they were like, "Hey, we got to change it," because I said no, leave it ebonically, because we would know who we're talking to.
Sure.
And then they changed it to "They're Killing Us" because they felt they're killing all of us, and they are. The trip is this: if I can destroy your food source, you can only get it from me, and then when you get sick from the food source I give you, you can only get well from me.
And they take they give you medication so that they can control your vibrational output, so they can control how high you are, how low you are. You can't. It's really bad for. It's kind of like a spiritual warfare, honestly.
Right.
We're gonna dive that deep into it, but I'm gonna fall back.
I don't let them tell me how. With my daughter's brand, I don't let anybody tell me how high I could be. Vaccine. Okay. So this is my thought about the vaccine. The fact that you can't read the ingredients, and then when you do read the ingredients, there's things that aren't allowed. The fact that they know it's experimental. The fact that the FDA has not approved it.
They're altering your RNA.
Take your time.
Break it
Right.
down.
If
You're altering your
tell
RNA?
me-
Are you kidding me?
Right, not mine. Like the planet I'm from, they're gonna find out my blood is different anyway. Do you know that every Native American was O blood type?
I'm O blood type, and I'm Native. I forgot to tell you, I'm Native American too. Yeah.
Wow.
She be claiming a bunch of stuff.
No,
all
I
the
am.
time.
Well, they pillaged a lot of this land.
You know what I
They
mean?
did.
She's Jewish by.
Come on.
They took it all.
Yeah.
She got booty too. So I mean, they got
She's
it.
the best. She's
Booty.
Jewish by.
She got. Are you flatfoot? She black as hell. You ever see black girls? They got the cutest shoes, but they no curve. It's,
No, I'm fine.
She got feet like Fred Flintstone.
Dude, I do. I have bad feet. Don't
She
even
got
look.
Freddie
I
Flintstone
got
feet.
shankles. It's all. I squat so hard, but my ankles will not get skinny. I don't understand. Like rhino squatting 3 plates, nothing.
Hold on, JC's on there. What's up, Jay?
I want to interrupt your 300-pound squat and showing off. I'm talking about the quality of food. There's a doctor, I forgot what I was watching, and his daughter has celiac disease. And they were over in Italy, and he told her to order pasta. And she's like, I can't order pasta because, he's like, order it. When she ate pasta over there, she had no issues, but when she eats it over here, everything flared up again.
yeah.
Quality of the soil and everything.
Could be the water.
I
too.
wonder if it was the red sauce, because they found a lot of really good things, and like with Italians and the red sauce, and why they live longer in general than Americans.
They also eat olives. So when you have olive oil a huge way, you should not use olive oil. Olive oil is 100% fat. There's nothing.
Really?
Not a
I
thing.
always thought it was better to eat olive oil.
Because
And Angie told me.
it doesn't cook.
Yeah.
So if you heat up a plate and you put olive oil in it, you're now cooking the fat. So your body your body is 80% water when you're born or when you're young. So oil and water don't mix.
Right.
So you should never ingest the oil unless you're doing it cold press oil and you're doing it in large quantities to clean, because it's going to go in and go out and it's going to pull things with it. You don't balsamic vinaigrette.
Use no oils.
I use is grapeseed oil, and I use it on my skin. The olive oil I use is cold pressed, but you don't need it. Eat the olive.
What about avocado oil?
Avocado oil is great oil too, but eat the avocado.
Eat the avocado. Yeah, just eat. I don't cook with oil.
No, I cook with water, and I don't cook
I do too.
long.
Okay.
I don't cook long
air
with it.
fry most
Yeah, I just
things
got
'cause
into
it
that.
keeps the nutrients.
I got a ninja.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
so good.
Yeah.
I'm a ninja.
I know. You're
You're-
my ninja for real.
So
But what about the quality? What about the land? What about the quality of the food grown in the States? Because I'm hearing the soil here is
Right.
completely over.
The fertilizer.
You should live in California. In California, we have 556 farmers markets. Out of those farmers markets, half of them are organic food. Now, organic because of their soil was taken care of, or grown by themselves without pesticides. So
Ooh.
the fact that you don't live in California is a huge situation. This is the other part that's worse. The worst water in America is the state of Washington. The second worst is California.
right.
I thought.
How about Flint is 13?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the water in California is worse. So
Yeah,
it's
Aaron
really the
Brockovich.
water
Yeah.
that they're using things with. So you have to figure out if you got well water, how you're getting
What
it.
about ozone?
All right, so ozone water is the best thing you can do
What's
when you're
that?
getting sick. So we get an ozone machine that we put inside the water and we oxygenate the water. Now,
Like an
having too
ozone
much
generator?
oxygen in the water is bad for your limbs, right? Because oxygen causes rust. So the ozone water is literally different. It's adding the ozone to your blood because the water is getting to your blood. So it's
H2O2 does that too.
right. Well, if you get hydrogen,
food
if you
grade.
add more hydrogen to your water, it's going to be better for you.
Yeah, all around.
And more fumic and humeric, because your body doesn't really want water; it wants minerals. So if you put the humic and fulvic, which are literally trace minerals, into your water, your body is going to take those minerals. If you're drinking too much water and your urine is clear, your kidney is not working.
Crap.
Right? You want it a little bit yellow, or when it gets dark yellow, you know you're dehydrated. Have more of it.
Right.
Right.
Probiotics.
Probiotics, I live by them. Enzymes, digestive enzymes. I have enzymes, systemic enzymes, because I'm
take-
older.
Prebiotics.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that's a new thing to me. You take prebiotics before probiotics, or else it's kind of like
Yeah. Well,
the cart
also,
before the horse.
I don't throw good things in a dirty bin. So I focus on cleaning my avatar when I'm adding the good things to it. Like I said, I don't cheat my cells.
What do you mean?
I was going to write a book, but that means whatever I write is going to be dated, because I'm going to give you information that you can get now.
That is
and I'm
so interesting.
I'm living in it now. When he called and said do a podcast, he could have talked about anything. I knew I was going to talk about what I would
Health.
put in a book.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I realized this generation is visual,
Yeah.
and they're connected to the device. So they're nearly not book readers. Plus, I'm going to be giving you other people's information when the information I'm getting is from myself, from literally trial, error, dating it, seeing it. I don't agree with everything. Dick Gregory is a mentor of mine. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything Dr. Sabi says. I
You're
believe garlic
educated enough to make those kinds of decisions
for myself. For
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
And I literally say that from my experience.
Right.
This would be called like your testimony.
This right. If I were a Christian, I would.
Can we talk about the aliens in Montreal?
I just always wondered why the Christians are Christians
So
when
it'd be
Jesus
kinda
was
like-
Hebrew.
It would be kind of like a
Yeah, it would be.
Bible.
Hey, you gotta ask JC. You gotta ask JC.
Yeah, and
JC go.
I just the testimony of the Bible was written by King James and then rewritten, then rewritten,
You heard about
then
the- you heard about the
rewritten,
story?
It was
then
just while
rewritten
he was
again.
in-
Did you hear about the story about the Jewish guy that talks to the Christian guy? He goes, talk about the book. We had the first
Right.
one.
Yeah, I told him that. I said the first book was so good
Right.
that the Christians thought they had to write a second one.
You know what I'm saying? Break it down. But
I'll let you know. The first book was rewritten too.
the first
The
book,
first book was broke.
the first book.
All right.
Listen, all I know is Moses came.
Almost acted up.
Moses came down with 15.
He broke it.
Moses
actually
didn't
15
come down
commandments.
anywhere.
There's 15 commandments.
The angry
They
version
stole
of
all
the
of these tenements from Egyptology.
There was 15 commandments.
Egypt, no.
Guys,
It
walk.
was
Oh,
funny.
listen.
And you know there was no Jews known to build the pyramids and no Jews in
Nope.
Egypt as slaves.
magnetic
That's all
technology.
made up.
Yeah,
That's
we were-
not a
we
true
were
statement.
paying the guys. We were paying the guys to carry that.
There were no Jews
They
at
were-
the time.
they were
Matter of
slaves,
fact,
but
Jews
not-
had slaves, and they wasn't slaves. They indentured to work off debt. And the Egyptians used to trade
The original bankers.
They did trade, but
Right. And this is crazy. When they talked about the banking, they
just weren't calling Jews. We call them Jews.
Yeah,
They were called the Hebrews.
Yeah.
the Hebrews, so they say, but they were working off
But
debt.
not at the pyramids.
Not at the pyramids.
Not at the
They
pyramids.
built cities.
That's the only thing.
They didn't. The pyramids were not built by that. And I went there and
All
I
the
realized
Jesus cartoons I watched had the. I was a very sheltered child.
Jesus cartoon.
We gotta talk about the pyramids were built by something.
That was like
Pyramids, if you think they were built by people,
sonic harmonic technology.
I literally travel. I'm going to Peru. I literally want to touch every pyramid you can possibly go to.
You too.
So when I went to Egypt, it was
Tall,
like,
the pyramid.
Can
pretty
I
close.
come?
yeah, I know. Or you can breathe hard, but we can work that out. Cause you seem like you can fight, and I can't.
She
have
can't
no
fight.
one around me that can't fight.
I got you.
She can't fight.
You go left, I go
Hey,
right.
I carry my knife with me as if I'm still on the trains in Manhattan.
She got nice.
Like seriously, everywhere I go, everywhere my daughters go, what do you do? I go, I just
in
don't
case.
trust folk.
Yeah, you should.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, let me.
Too, man. I got some hands.
JC got some yams.
Coming.
So getting back
go
to
back to the ED or not?
getting
Wait,
back
why
to
would we have to fight people?
You never know.
but getting back to the erectile dysfunction problems you've been having, John. So my suggestion to you is to find a nice girl. You can meet him at a library. You can meet him at a. I'm just kidding.
He's in Vegas. You call him. Yeah, you can call them. You can call them. They'll wear what you tell them to wear.
Yeah.
JC, find a nice girl at church.
I got some numbers, but you know what? Usually paying for them to leave, not to come.
That's right.
That's the
Charlie
trick.
Sheen.
That's the trick. But I want to talk about a couple things. You know, from being a professional athlete for so many years, you were one of the few athletes that transitioned almost immediately into feature films and TV.
Yeah, I only wanted to be an actor.
You really?
This is the craziest thing. Growing up, I played sports because my brothers were athletes. And then they're short. And then I ate some toxic waste and I grew to 7 foot. That's exactly how it worked.
What?
But I only wanted to act.
Wait, how tall are your brothers?
I'm 6 foot, 5'11", 6'2". And I know because it was a bunch of us that grew crazy. And there's a place in New York called Starrett City, right, in Brooklyn. And they used to bury all this radioactive stuff, and it was on sand dunes. They put sand over it, and we would go play in the sand dunes, and they would chase us off of them. Chano Melendez, Puerto Rican dude, he was the first. Then Sam Cooke. Then I grew 5 inches in one summer.
Wow.
And it just, my father was like 6'7", but it just amazing on how we all grew. So I knew it was something. Besides that, I only wanted to act. My mother, I used to watch TV so much that I was watching how you say things. Like people didn't know I was from New York at one time because I was trying to speak with a British accent. I was wondering when to laugh. I used to listen to Richard Pryor with no one around and copy each piece. And I didn't have a problem with changing my voice and all that. So I used to tell Magic, yeah, I'm playing this basketball stuff and hanging with you. Cause I used to drive Magic my second year. He had a Rolls Royce, so I would drive.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, man, just a Rolls Royce. You're supposed to sit back there. I would play it off because I dropped Irvin off and said, I'm gonna go put the car in a safe spot. And then I would take me 15 minutes to park right in the front because I would drive and let all the girls see me, you know, and then I would park it and pay the dude to watch it. My idea was to get here, meet these people, get in film. That was it. And when I did, I just did a movie called Sneakerella, or Disney Plus comes out in September. It's a musical. Always wanted to do a musical.
Wow.
Right? So I get to rap, I get to kind of dance, I get to sing.
That's awesome.
Everybody else was like, and I knew I was trailblazing. I knew going on television and being funny as an athlete was entirely different than every other athlete. They were always showing that they could speak well and look good in the suit and stand with their shoulders back and be an expert. I made fun of it.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a joke. It's a game that y'all that don't play, I'm talking to everybody out there, literally goes, man, the guy was at the nightclub, shouldn't be thinking about, I used to tell my cousin that, man, shouldn't he be thinking about the game? I go, the game is tomorrow. I said, are you thinking about
practice?
What 2 hours you gonna do at work tomorrow? And playing basketball or football or any sport when you're a professional is second to urinating. Right? It's the same way. I can get on a court right now. I can't play like I used to, but I can see angles, see things happening, move. If I was still able to move my limbs the same way, it'd be over.
JC, you played with some professional ball players when you were growing up playing ball.
Yeah, I grew up with Gary Payton. So
Oh my God.
I've been playing against Gary since 4th grade. Back when he had a little curl on the bottom of his head.
So you from Oakland?
I'm originally from San Francisco. So
Nobody ever says they from San Francisco.
I'm from the city.
You from the city?
Right here. I'm from the city.
What part of the city?
The Mission. Grew up in the Mission.
Really? Yeah, I love San Francisco. I wanted to play for Golden State when I finished playing with the Lakers. And I was going to fly up to go to practice and only stay up for the games because I knew I was going to get in trouble. And I liked my wife, so I would, you know what I'm saying?
That's important.
Like, I tell her that. She asked me yesterday, she said, you still like me? Sometime. In 30 years, you could.
Dude, that's important, like really important.
It's the most important
Yeah.
thing.
So you love somebody, but like, do you like them though?
If you don't like, it's more important to like somebody than to love them.
I think
Because you love
love is
everything.
inevitable, but you don't always like the people that you love.
Right.
I do. Lucky for me, but.
Really?
So you're getting back to the film stuff because I know that's something.
Yeah, but I never got anything with my brothers. We got music up here. I never dropped a record with my brothers,
Right.
but now I'm considering it.
Nice. I'd love to get you on the
You hear
mic.
that?
Yeah.
I'd love to get
Let's do a feature.
Queen Vic's a big time singer. You know, she's been touring for.
What don't you do?
She's been an artist since she's 7. A little backstory: she's been an artist since she's 7. She's been in a girl group. She was discovered by through the guys from the Making the Band.
There's a white guy because they always feel they discover something that's already.
No, Puff and his crew. But she also landed Cinderella. She was Cinderella all over.
Oh, that's dope.
You know, she did theater
that
for her
was
whole life.
Not a lot of money though.
It's
theater, right?
It's not a lot of money when you're shooting a
It's
ball through a
not
hoop
a lot of
making
money when you have
fucking $5 million
contracts for
to play a
millions of
couple
dollars,
games.
but for me,
You know
it was
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of money. I got paid above scale.
Did you ever go to theater? Okay, this is how much I want to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen maybe 20 Broadway shows, and I can't tell you any of my counterparts that have seen any except Hamilton on television.
Wow.
And I would go and realize they worked every day, twice on Sundays.
Matinees. Don't count me for
Yeah, and what the hell do you do on a Monday?
matinees.
And I literally was like, you have to really
It's
appreciate it.
crazy.
And like Heavy D and
Heavy D got me in the record business.
Really?
You know,
Yeah.
He co-signed me when I was working at the Palladium. I met him in late 80s. Met him at the Palladium.
1988.
And I was rocking the Palladium, running the front door. Hev walks up and he's like, "What up, E-Man?" And we just started talking. He was friends with D-Mac and all those
Right.
guys that you know, and Puff, of course. And he, when I
It's
left,
so funny you
when
still
I
call
left-
him Puffy. Me too.
when I left-
you're not supposed to say it.
I called him Puff last 8 months ago.
I call him Puffy.
He called him Puffy too.
My old manager called Puffy too.
But it was cool because when I left A&M, I went to go to run a company called Immortal, and Heavy called me. He goes, "Hey Ev, man, I'm launching this new label with Daniel Glass, man. I want you to run the West Coast." And I'm all
Just like that?
just like that. I go, "Hev, what?" He goes, "Man, I need you in the studio with Soul for Real, man. I need you to do this and I need you to do that." And I said, "Hev, I'll do it if I get to meet these guys." And they said, "Okay, we're going to set you up." And they flew me to New York. I met with those guys. Met with Louis Tucker.
First
met with
class or
Kadar.
coach?
They flew me up business class. But
They ain't like
I'll tell you who's class act though. Puff was a class act. Puff threw me first class and put me up at the Regency when he wanted me to hire him. He tried to hire me for Bad Boy. But Heavy
Got poached.
I got poached by Puff. But Hev and I was at Universal.
These
working with
jokes
Hev.
are too easy.
Working with Hev. I got poached by, I didn't get poached by Puff like that. But yeah, Heavy was one of my.
Not touching the jokes, fam. I'm staying over here.
Stay away from the jokes.
Just
Staying
told
away
it
from
Stay away
so.
from the
TikTok
jokes.
jokes.
He ain't doing the opening the bathrobe shit up with me. He's like, he's all
my God.
good in the hood.
So me and Puffy started it.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
So I was the bad boy. He was the bad boy of music. came in. He was like, give me 100,000. I had just opened my studio in Detroit. And give me 100,000, we can kill us. We went to Russell and Andre Harrell.
Oh, I love
and
his story.
they clowned us. Yeah, Sally and Puffy got records. You see, I told you they're not gonna listen. I said, they gotta give you the money. You're the one with the flavor. And then Clive saw it and gave him $11 million. And he said, I told him, if I would have given him 100,000, I'd own 50% of Bad Boy.
Whoa.
Right? To get into that point. And I was walking around and Jack the Rapper with posters on
that's classic.
Right?
That's classic.
All of that stuff when we were pushing it. And then I signed Paul Rosenberg, who was Eminem's manager.
Yeah.
It was Paul Bunyan at the time. I had Slum Village. And I go to New York and they don't hear it. So I came in with all that Detroit stuff before no one heard it.
All that shit.
No one heard it. But they can't hear in New York. I'm from New York, but they can't hear.
Well, interesting. I mean, that's a pretty cool story because, I mean, one of the stories that I've told countless times is I was working at Universal, and I'm in Miami, Puff's dating J-Lo, and we're in the swimming pool at the Delano, and we're throwing the football back and forth, and he's like, "Come on, Ev, throw the ball a little farther." I'm all, Puff, I got to keep it close. I heard what happened on the set. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I go, "I heard what happened on any given Sunday, man. You couldn't throw the football, so they had to get
Oh my
Jamie
God.
to throw the football." He goes, "Fuck you, Ev."
Oh my God.
I'm like, that is 100% true, dude. That's 100% true. Rich was there.
Stop it.
Oh, so this is
really?
so I'm sitting in the pool. I'm sitting in the pool, and I knew the story. Meanwhile, J-Lo's behind me wearing a green short dress, not the dress she was wearing.
Not the green dress.
No, she was wearing a green short dress, and she's like, "I want to go shopping. I want to go shopping." And I'm looking at her like this, and I'm looking right up her dress, and I look over at Puff, and I go, "Guess you got to get out of the pool, man." So weeks later, he says, he's like, "Ev, you going to the tennis tournament?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'll take you to the Nabisco tennis tournament." I take him to the tournament. We bonded, had a great time. That's the same week that Suge allegedly got shot at the Shore Club. So it's all going down in this kind of a weird time. Now I'm with Jimmy Henchman and those guys, puffing them up. We're all at the Delano. We're walking to the Shore Club. His head back. So I'm with Jimmy. Me, Puff, and them. We're all at the club, and we go walking over there, and all of a sudden, Suge gets shot in the leg. And I'm like, Jimmy was nowhere near him because I was with Jimmy. So I'm like, there's so many things that were going down that week. But when I got back to LA, because I was the only one on the West Coast of Universal. And back in LA, I get a call from my friend Josh and Jeff Burrows. You know Jeff Burrows too. And he goes, "Yo, man, Puff wants to hire you to run Bad Boy."
Wow.
And I go, "What?" He goes, he wants to hire you to run Bad Boy. You to run a crossover department. And I go, "Oh, shit." So
you didn't take that gig?
Hold on. I call the label, and I tell the label I got to go in for root canal. So Puff flies me out, and he puts me up at the Regency Hotel. And
St. Regis,
yeah. He goes. We get in the car, and he goes,
$800 a night for a room with the butler.
He goes like this. He goes, "Ev, hold these." So I'm holding all these tapes. I've told JC the story because it's a fucking legendary story, at least for my legend. I pull up to 57th Street, and I look up, and I'm like, "Puff, what are you doing, dude?" I can't go to Arista Records. I'm under contract to Universal. He goes, Don't worry about it. Everything's cool. So he goes, "Grab all those tapes." So we go up to the Clive meeting, and Jay, you've been up there. They got a huge table. Clive Davis is on one side of the table, and then me and Puff are at the other side with Jeff Burrows. And Clive goes, "Well, Puffy, what are you gonna play today?" And he goes, "I'm gonna play you the new Biggie record." And he goes, "And who's this next to you?" "Oh, that's Evan Forster. He's the E-Man. He's the new head of Bad Boy crossover division." Oh. Well, boom, everybody got pages. So my boy Jeff Lionel Rittenauer, Jeff's there, Joe Heck, they're all typing. Now the lady that was running Bad Boy or running Arista had just left, I told you, Gene Riggins, to come run Universal. So all of a sudden I'm getting hit. "I thought you having a root canal, motherfucker." I'm like, yo.
That's why you got to be man up. I stopped lying at the age of 40.
I wasn't, well, it wasn't a lie.
At the age of 50 when I finally stopped lying. It took 10 years. But I won't lie about anything. I won't speak. No, this is why you should never lie, because what you're telling people is they're not intelligent enough to handle the truth.
Oh,
deep.
So if they're not intelligent enough to handle the truth, you shouldn't be dealing with them in the first place.
Well, I didn't listen. Well, at the time, I didn't really know the consequences of these actions. So
Yeah, you did.
So he
He just didn't think he was gonna get caught. Yeah.
He goes, "You're gonna run bad boy. You're gonna run bad boy." I'm like, "Yo, whatever." All of a sudden, he grabs the music, he gives it to Clive, and they put it on, and there's Hypnotize. The whole room goes crazy. First time anybody's hearing Hypnotize. Then he plays the next record, then the next record, and then he goes, "Let me play this one for you. This is the hit." And he played More Money, More Problems. Clive Davis stands up from the desk, from the table, and he starts dancing around the room saying, "Puffy, this is going to be the biggest record in the history of radio."
Because Clive can make it the biggest.
And it was, it was the biggest. And when I got back to the office, I got my head handed to me, because Jean was, a very powerful woman, and you worked for her, JC. You know how powerful she is. Yeah, and she brings me, and she goes, "Well, guess what, motherfucker? Now you're working for me, and you're moving to New York. You're gonna go work for Puffy in New York. Now you're moving to New York." And I had just bought a house in California, and I had to pack everything up, and boom.
God.
Yeah, that's why I like being my own boss.
You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, the Clive, my first solo artist is named Tony Rich.
I know Tony Rich. He's a great
Tony
artist.
Rich
Jay, did you work that record?
Yeah.
Did you work that? Jay worked that record.
And Clive told me, Black America is not going to listen to country music. And I go, this is soul music. He's at this point. And because he did what he did, and then we got 1996 Best New Artist.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was always invited to the Clive event. And then it got corporate. And I went from sitting up front to sitting in the last row. And I was like, all right, this is cool. He's not making the decision anymore.
Tony Rich was a great artist, though.
Still
I
is.
remember when the record came out, it was a great record. JC, I think, broke it. Did you work the record?
Okay, so I got an artist named Vader.
Right.
And she's dope. My deal is with this new mentality and the new way of music, okay? This whole new music mentality, TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram,
Spotify,
all of these pieces.
Yeah.
How do you work a record now? You don't have college radio.
Right.
You got the tours, but who cares? Because unless you're doing it digital, they're not really caring anyway.
It's a very different platform. JC still consults a bunch of labels as well. We consult artists. We've been working artists.
But how? Because there's new artists.
I'm telling you.
Every 5 seconds now.
I'm telling you.
Not all of the social media artists are actually good. Well, you might write a really great song, but not all songwriters are artists, right? So then people are like, "Ooh, let's do shows," and then they're like, "Ooh, this isn't for me."
Right. You gotta know how you can teach stage presence.
You think you want something.
You got to be able to maneuver.
Not really.
You don't think so?
You got to be able to maneuver through the ocean, like you said. There's like an ocean. When you're sitting here looking at Spotify, and you're looking at streaming, and you're looking at thousands and thousands of streams to make $1. Thousands and thousands of streams. Let's put things into perspective, because JC and I always worked terrestrial radio. We worked at traditional business plans. You take a record, you'd build it. Now, we were pretty much the foundations of street teams. So just giving you a little history, JC and I have worked together for almost 30 years. I was one of the creators.
Steve Ricken is going to say you're lying.
No. I was just going to reference Steve. Okay.
That's my first label.
So Steve, he worked for Steve. Steve was on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast. My practice for running nightclubs, because I was running nightclubs before Steve, because he didn't run nightclubs. It was using Sun Tzu tactics to mobilize communities, to four-wall a market, utilizing word of mouth, constant pressure from promotional items to then bring people to your place. So you're capturing your audience without them knowing you're capturing.
But that's making the artist broke.
it's
The
not.
promotion, it does, because
That's a different-
promotion costs. Everything
Promotion
costs.
does cost, but just take it into perspective.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the way we used to
using
do
the
it. How do
organic-
you break an artist now?
The artists have to have a lot of things going for them at one time. One, they have to be willing to believe that they can promote and market themselves better than anybody else because they know who they are better than anybody else. So the first thing they have to be as transparent as possible. They have to be very, very accessible, okay, initially to their audience.
What do you mean by that?
They have to communicate. They have to get authentic. They have to
Replying
be
to all of their-
they're very present. Okay, when they're working on their product. A lot of artists believe that they're too good for this or too good for that. One of the things that used to happen with us when JC and I were breaking artists is that the artist would turn in their record and they thought everything was done. They thought the whole business was done, and we were going to take over and they were going to do everything. That's not how it is.
Not even when you guys were in the record business. Like,
So
not
you still didn't answer me a question.
Yeah.
How do you break an artist now?
I'm explaining to you how you break.
No, you didn't explain it.
You have to be, JC, break it down how you see new artists, because you're working with companies like Empire, who are one of the biggest indies in the business right now. How are you guys breaking artists right now? And I can tell you how.
And why should an artist with its
Come to
own
us.
with its own platform, because now you can have your own platform.
Absolutely.
Why do they sign with Empire?
They sign with Empire for money.
But why would you need money?
But they won't.
Because you can't. Okay, first of all,
I wanna hear what
JC, why don't you break it down a little bit?
Question asked.
This is a question. Yeah.
Question.
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 We want to hear how
He
you're
won't
breaking
answer. He
artists
won't
at
answer the
Empire.
question. I want the
I'm answering
question
the question.
answered. Why would you sign with Empire?
Well, the first question you asked before that is regarding how artists are being broken these days. It's really a combination of old school and new school.
Yes.
I mean, radio is still here. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the music and the artists. At the end of the day, it comes down to the basics of if you're talented and if your song is hot. Say we have that. Say we have an artist that's a star, the song is ridiculous. It comes down to social media, it comes down to visuals, it comes down to content. So basically what Evan's saying is you still need to have the video, you need to have content, constant content for people to get to know and understand what the artist is about, and they have to buy into the artist. You know, you look at a Cardi B.
Her story sold her so much
Everyone
too.
loves Cardi because when you see Cardi, you believe
She's authentic.
she is.
Yeah.
That's who she is.
She's
There's
unapologetically.
no filter. It's kind of like when you're talking about yourself. When NBA athletes, they're trying to sound educated and wearing a suit. What separated you and say Shaq is your personality.
That's your
You
superpower.
didn't care about, you weren't trying to impress somebody, you weren't trying to say the right words, you're doing yourself. So as an artist, that's very important. If you get a chance, look up Cam in China. It's female twin rappers out of Inglewood. And everything's been very organic. Been putting out a lot of content, a lot of them freestyling, putting out videos, putting out music. It's constant content. And eventually, you can't manipulate artists like you used to. Back in the day, you played the video a million times on the box, on BT. You play the song 50 times a day on the radio, and you kind of condition people. Now, this new generation, you can't manipulate them like you used to.
You cannot fake the funk with the kids. You can't fake the funk with the kids. And
So, honestly, it's really easier now than it was then, especially as an independent. So it really just comes down to the basics of that. Now, regarding why Empire, they have a staff, they have resources that if you don't have those, they can give you those resources.
What kind of resources?
Yeah.
Fiscal?
From the staff, from the marketing staff, from the promotion staff, from
Got
the
it.
social media staff. They have the resources on the independent level where they can help take you that much further than you already took yourself. And plus, the deals they do is extremely fair. It's not, most of the deals is based, everything's transparent. So you decide what you want to do, how you want to do it, how much
Right.
help you need, how much help you don't need. If you don't need a
All
whole lot of help.
JC, you're gonna take me. Your brother already told me he was taking me into Empire with our record label. I don't want my artists to have to perform after making money or making a way. Like It just doesn't make sense to
mean?
me. Well, what I mean by that is you put in all the work as your talent. People don't see your talent. And like sometimes it may take 3 years for a song to be a
Literally.
hit.
Oh.
When songs
for
may
the
be
following.
ridiculous then, but we didn't hear it. Natasha Bedingfield, they heard some of it. But then you don't hear it and you go, what's next? So I've just always wondered if you guys knew like how to hit an artist now. I remember, and we leaving a lot out. There's a thing called payola.
Well, that we're gonna touch on, but I mean to really break it down, you got to look at things a little different. So if you're a basketball player, and I'm gonna explain this because it's really
I also graduated from college, so you don't have to use the reference.
I'm
as
using
me
the
being
reference
basketball
for a
player.
specific purpose.
Why, by the way? Okay.
All right. You got to be the hottest dude in your house first. You got to be the hottest dude on your block second. You got to be the hottest dude in the hood. Then you got to be the hottest guy in your high school. Then you got to be the hottest guy in college. Then you got to win the championship in college. Then you got to get drafted into the pros. Then you got to perform at that level. Then you got to go to the championship, and then you got to win. All these fucking kids, they want to go from I made a hot record in the studio to Power 106. That shit doesn't happen. That shit should not happen. There's no foundation. You guys, when you're athletes, it's the same thing. I sat down one day with Chuck D, and we were talking about my philosophy.
Name drop.
Marketing. Major name drop. Major credible artist. Major I don't give a fuck kind of artist.
Right.
That does whatever the fuck he wants because he is Chuck D. And we sat down and I talked to him just about what I'm talking to you about. And I explained, I go, why don't they understand that these kids, they finish their record and they hand it to me and they say, put my record on Hot 97. And I'm like, dude, Michael Jordan's at Hot 97. John Sally's at KJLH. This one's at the hottest stations in the world. These are professional athletes. You want to go out and you're going to go play against John Sally because you think you can drain a three from 30 feet out? That's the only shot you got? He's going to stuff you every time you shoot the ball. Same situations happening in music. If you have no base, if you have nothing, no foundation, it doesn't matter. We can play the game. I can get you numbers. I can use companies like Spiral Frog or whatever to get you 50,000 friends tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It matters on if you have 1 million followers, yeah, sure, it's better than 100 somebodies. That's definite. If you got 1 million people paying $1 to go see you, or 50 people paying $100, I'd rather have the $1 million. I'd rather have those 1 million people paying you. So you want to get the biggest tranche of action that you can get. And the only way you're going to get that these days, if you look at from the terrestrial side and you go now to the social media side. So you use the internet. The internet is able to connect you to people quicker and faster using the cell phone. It's the quickest and fastest way to broadcast your information. We couldn't do that when I was doing it back when I first started out. You had 5 major networks.
So what's good about having someone now when they can do it themselves through social media?
It's not,
Let me say
yeah,
something about
yeah.
that. You don't need anybody now.
You don't.
What I tell everybody is that as an artist, this is like playing ball. You know, like if someone goes to you like, well, how can I get a scholarship? You got to put the work in. You know,
Or you can go to USC and pay for it.
Yeah.
Allegedly. There's a Trojan
You go
in
to
the house.
USC and pay for your.
There's a Trojan in the house, allegedly.
You know, let's say I want to go play at Duke.
Right.
I can't pay to go to Duke. But at the end of the day, you got to put the work in. So as artists, you have to put the work in and put yourself in a position to where they're coming to you. They want to do business with you, opposed to like, oh, well, here's my song, here's a picture, can I get a deal, can you do that? If you get something, it's going to be trash. But at the end of the day, you still got to put the work in. So you have to, the artist has to make themselves like a kid playing in AAU. You have to show that you deserve to get that scholarship. You have to show that you're something that this school wants. And same thing as an artist, you have to put the work in to show that somebody wants to give you money and give you opportunity.
That's why I use the reference.
Or just save for yourself. At the end of the day, why not? If you're able to get popping and do it yourself, I recommend that all day long.
Do you know what it costs to put a record on the radio?
Yep.
You do?
$600,000.
Okay. So if you're looking at that, you're looking at 95.
When you used to have to pay, but
they still they don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. I'm just telling you.
We can start off with 60,000, but every month you got to come up with.
Say
60.
again.
You need 25 million streams to generate $100,000.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
25 million streams. So you're
That's why the girls are naked.
Right. Well,
doing devil worship stuff.
Doing devil work. Doing OnlyFans
selfies.
OnlyFans shit. You know, there's the internet.
There's another way.
Yeah, I have an app called Wave, WEIV. It spells view backwards.
Cool.
It's for artists, and it's so you don't have to be naked. And it targets just that. It targets you building your audience and getting $3.99, and 80% of the money goes back to the artist. So I'm literally involved in hopefully getting artists to be in, yes, the show, but the business.
Yeah.
Because every time they're not in the business, you run into it. My artist, Veda Veli, literally Mace heard her and was like, I want to help you. There's a bunch of people who've been in this situation that want to help artists not run into being.
Yeah, I don't want to have to sell out for
Right.
people. I have the songs. I have all those, but you know, social media is such a huge important part of it. And I have a decent social media following, but having those like millions of followers to where you have the cards in your hand, that's like, you know, I don't want to be naked on Instagram to like get my follower, you know what I mean? So that is super valuable.
Yeah, I love
That's his artist.
That's your D-Smoke is your artist?
Yeah, he's
That's dope. But give me an example. Him going on television really helped him out?
Well, that helped him out. That got him started.
But not everybody should go on TV.
No, that's not for everybody.
Right. But his whole family, from what I understand, is talented.
Yeah, Davion. So Johnny managed Davion. We had Davion Ferris first. He got D Smoke, and
I saw Davion too.
Yeah, he was with Davion as well.
The thing is that what Smoke is so impressive is that he knew he was going on the show, but he did all the work preparing himself as soon as the show was over for him to be able to take off and launch. If you look at the other artists on the show, no one's really nowhere near the kind of momentum of what he's done that other people are on the show. But he did the work, he put himself in a position to be able to take off, and he maintained being independent. He's with Empire, but he controls everything that he
That's
does.
cool.
That's what's up.
And that's
cool,
the different when I had Andre Day, for example, it was a different story.
You guys had a great relationship.
Absolutely. She lived with me for 2 years. We end up getting her $1 million deal over at Rifkin. Steve gets to sign her, and then she pulls a fast one and tries to fucking change her name and pull some fast shit and then next thing I know, her name's Andre Day. You know, her name's Cassandra Beatty. But you know, stuff goes down.
When money starts
So
becoming
you can
real.
change your name like Prince and get out of deals?
No. So what she tried to do was try to change her name, go from Cassandra Beatty to Andre Day, but she didn't understand that, you know, some people got attorneys. So then she had to figure that out. But, you know, we got a nice office.
They didn't know he was part of the Purple Gang, the first original Jewish gang that was the toughest gang
what I'm saying?
in all of gangs, believe it or not.
Snap.
Didn't know.
What's the name? I just started Sugarman.
Yeah, that's where the fam's from.
You know, Foster brother JC knows. JC has Hanukkah dinner at the house. He's at Passover. He's eating matzah.
My
You know his
mother was a
right?
kosher caterer, and we would do Shabbat dinners all the time in Long Island.
Speaking of that, the Ev is a bad Jew, and I say that because
What?
with the Shabbat,
Yeah.
He had me. I make this cream corn.
Yeah.
And had me made it. Like,
Yo, he can cook his face off, this
Who?
guy.
JC makes
Oh
cream
my
corn.
God.
I can't believe everybody's giving him like props. He makes fucking cream corn. I make
made
these
sugar
fried
with
chicken.
dairy.
I
Dude,
make
he made
I
the
make
best
fried
lasagna
chicken.
I've ever
I make
had.
spaghetti and meatballs. He makes cream corn.
You don't make fried chicken or spaghetti and meatball. You just cook it.
Man, are you dropping?
Right? You guys,
dropping?
if you really want to.
I get fronted.
Come
I
to
get right
Cafe
in there.
Organics.
I get
Come-
right
come
in there
check
with
your
the
boy out.
meatballs. I make the meatballs. JC knows.
Vegan cream corn.
Oh no, you don't. No, you don't.
I will.
You know. But anyway, listen, JC, I'm literally gonna bring my artists up in here.
Yeah.
Because I know them, and we have the same lawyers. Just mine happens to be Orthodox.
Yeah.
I'll be out there.
Jay, he's coming out here next week.
Following week. Also, Evan never reached out to you. I want to get your colonic person. Mine was in Culver City. I think yours is in the Valley, right?
Yeah.
Mine gives it a little tickle. Mine gives it a little tickle.
I also know one on Venice Boulevard, but like Richard tell you, if you go to Deanie, you will learn.
Yeah.
The first time she's going to talk to you and you're going to be like, yo, be quiet. But she's not going to be, because once you learn, then she'll be quiet.
You can't unknow.
Because if she does, and I started off with the lady she used to work for. Is the reason I don't let anybody put anything inside of me, not even false information.
Nice.
Not even false information. Anyway, hey, I gotta go. I got a life.
I'm down, man. I thought I was gonna take you guys out to eat. You know what I'm saying? We'll do part 2. We'll come back and part 2.
No, I had to ask at least one basketball question.
Yeah.
Okay, but I get paid to speak about basketball, so
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm stealing it from
Where's your
the show.
Best damn sports show, period.
Yeah.
So who was the first person to bust your ass when you got in the league?
Oh my God.
That's a good question.
It was in Atlanta. So this is what happened.
Come on, Pookie Malibu.
So I went to Georgia Tech, and I'm playing with the guys, and I've never was crazy. Pookie, I know who he is, and I'm playing against guys from the Hawks all the time since I first get to Georgia. So when they finally come up, I'm not friends with my teammates. I hate them because I'm a rookie and they hate me. So I'm hanging out with Kevin Willis and Dominique, and I'm going to Kevin's house when he comes in town, and I'm driving him back and forth from the airport. Game started, they beat me down, running me into picks, elbowing me, knowing the refs are not gonna call. Get in the locker room, and Bill Lambert said, let this be a lesson to you. You wear red, white, and blue, not red, yellow, and white. He said, they can be your friends in the summertime. And that ended it right there. So I got it really early, getting banged into.
Wow.
And then I had guys like Maurice Lucas, who they don't talk about, try to break my wrist, told me don't touch him.
Oh my God.
Really?
Like during the game?
Like during the game, you're playing defense and you put your hand on him. And he grabbed it and tried to bend it. I said, yo, man, he goes, you touch me again, I'm gonna break it.
Wow.
And I was like, do I touch this dude? And so when I went to turn around and box him out, he like bowed me in the back of the head and hit me. And the ref was like, hey, cut it out. And he was like, I told you, don't touch me again. And I said, oh, okay, all right. We go down court, something goes up, and I just laid right into him.
Nice.
Wham!
Nice.
And they turn around, I go,
It's like prison.
I might as well make my bones now.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? And they all, basketball players don't fight. They lean. We the best moonwalkers in the world. Michael Jackson ain't got nothing on a basketball player moonwalker. And so I'm like, yeah, because I know guys are getting in between. He's like, all right, young fella. I said, all day. I'm looking for you all day.
I love it.
Oh,
And because I was like, I ain't from here. They were like, Sal, calm down. I said, I am. He hits me again. I'll take it. I'm coming at you all day. End of the game. He was like, that's how you play, young fella. So I learned early.
Wow.
The hardest player to play in the NBA is Akeem Olajuwon.
The dream.
Yeah, he ran like a gazelle, not because he's African, but that had a lot to do with it. He ran like a gazelle. He was strong as everybody else. And his eyes were red, as he had, he's Nigerian, man. He had the dark looking red, brown, and with muscles everywhere. But then Kevin McHale would do things, and then Larry Bird is the hardest player to ever go. Michael Jordan, yes, he averaged 33 against the Pistons, but we also know we can push him left and hit him on the ground. And at that time, he wasn't the Messiah.
Right.
But when he became the Messiah, it's a trip, because when I'm around MJ, we laugh at the way I go, oh, Your Highness. He goes, cut that shit out. I go, don't I supposed to kiss your ring or some shit?
Yeah.
And he laughs. And then James Worthy and I go, can you imagine Skinny Michael is Michael Jordan?
Wow.
Like anybody that came up with him.
Right.
Clive Drexler was the man. Michael hated that. And so Michael would go after Clyde Drexler because Clyde Drexler is supposed to have been the man.
Wow.
And Michael had to, back then, he had to literally fight to get to this position.
Wow.
So I find that amazing. And I'm glad that we had a lot to do with him becoming the person or the icon he's become.
Wow.
Well, last thing.
Myron Scott told me a story with Larry Bird got pissed off that they put a white guy in the garden.
Oh yeah.
He said,
Mike, check out.
You don't believe
I'm playing Larry. I'm playing Larry. We get in the game, and I was going to be. I grew up a Celtic fan because they win and they had a black coach. Let's get into it.
Okay.
But I was going to play Red Auerbach has me, Lenny Bias, and Mike Brown coming to camp. He takes Lenny number 2 pick. Worst thing happened. Lenny dies that night.
Terrible.
Right, in a bad situation. But Larry had always thought I was going to be the guy they picked. So I get in and I go, he said, "What's up, Sal?" I said, "What's up, Larry?" He looked around. He goes, "Who guarding me?" I said, "I got you." He goes, "Oh, y'all double teaming?" I go, "No, I got you by myself." He said, "Damn. Mouse in the house." He said, "Sal, you better ask some help. You better ask for help."
Damn.
And he was dead ass.
He was dead serious. This is not a drill, honey.
I'm going to destroy you if you play me one-on-one.
I'm going to embarrass you. Oh, my God.
Huh?
He's a badass.
Yeah.
And tell him exactly what he does, and you'll do it.
Larry, he did that to Garrett Payton.
God.
Imagine to me, he said, "Sal, you can't stop me." He said, you good. You can't stop.
He wasn't even talking shit. He
bounced up. He was like, "Sal, I'm telling you, better ask for double team." I got, I'm a smart player, so I got 2 quick fouls. Right.
He's
2 quick fouls because they got to sub you if you get 2 quick fouls. I'm looking at the ref like, they're like, "What the hell? Get somebody else. He ain't getting me on CBS."
Last thing before we let him get out of here, one of our segments called "We Got Issues." We had talked.
Yeah, that's the name of the show.
The name of the show is "We Got Issues" because we got issues.
It's a segment.
We definitely got to see this. What happens?
Right.
So, what is the most important issue to you going on right now in your life that you want everybody to know about and be conscious of?
I just spoke to Vader today and said, tomorrow doesn't exist, right? So fear is false evidence appearing real for something that doesn't exist. And the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. If you want fruit, if you want shade, the best time to plant it was 25 years ago. So since that's the reality, right now is the only thing that matters. Like right at this present moment is the only thing that matters.
Always.
You not giving me a place to park my car doesn't make a difference. That was an hour ago. Me being downstairs and ringing the bell when you told me to be here at 12 doesn't matter. Right now.
The 5th brother, not the 1st brother.
The 5th brother. Right now. So the most important
Rich
thing
had no problems.
Is it's just right now. Like I'm really focusing on being like when my knee hurts, I'm thinking about money. When my elbow hurts, and I just said it to her, I don't tell her, it's literally I'm thinking about family. And what that means is I'm trying to hold everything together and it's strained. When I don't think that way, when I think everything is as it's supposed to be, it is. You can only do what you can do now. And if you plant the right seed now, your tree will be great.
Absolutely.
Lessons from John, Sally.
Right?
Thank you very much for being here today.
Definitely. Hey,
really
go vegan. JohnSally.com. Look out for Veda Veli. You can check her out on Instagram. VADA.VELI. She's dope. She's.
We're gonna get her in the studio. We're gonna meet her.
We're gonna get in the studio.
Yeah.
JC, we're gonna talk to Empire.
Yep.
Yeah, week after next, she'll be out here. Yep. And hey, stay alive.
There you go, buddy.
That's right.
There you go. Thanks again, buddy.
Always.
Really appreciate
Definitely.
it.
All right, so we're back with the We Got Issues Hoodlum podcast. And listen, you guys like, subscribe, and
hit the like button
and follow us. Don't make it fun. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that button on the right there that says you like the podcast. Make us happy. You know what I'm saying? Catch you right back.
Here we go.